Welcome to another episode of Gamecocks Talk with Captain Will. I am your man, Captain Will. Make sure you like, make sure you share, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you subscribe to Gamecocks Talk with Captain Will so I can continue to bring you that gospel of Gamecocks every single day. Ladies and gentlemen, you are now rocking with the best. And since you're rocking with the best, come rock with your man, Captain Will. We got to go today, y'all. I said we got to go in today, y'all. We are talking about the big game. We'll talk about the big game that's going down tomorrow afternoon, 1 o'clock p.m. on ESPN. And we're talking about the big game against Georgia. Is it a big game? Is it? Is it a big game? Is this something that we got to get up for? Is this a game that we got to hype up because Georgia has the opportunity to beat us? Is it that situation? Well, the answer right now is no. The answer right now is no. Obviously, Georgia is a decent team. They're in SEC play. They're ranked number 99 in the net ranking. But this is at Colonial Life Arena. This is the number one team in the country by the AP poll, the net ranking. This is college basketball at its finest, and it happens to reside in Columbia, South Carolina. The ladies are back home. We are not in Tennessee no more. We are back home. We're in the friendly confines of USC. So, Georgia, I'm sorry for your loss. But you are about to get whooped tomorrow afternoon. But before we dive deep into the whooping that Georgia is going to be getting tomorrow, let's talk about subscribing to Gamecocks Talk with Captain Will. Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, YouTube, all the different platforms. You need to follow your man, Captain Will, because you're now rocking with the best. And since you're rocking with the best, come rock with your man's Captain Will. Hey, Georgia has the 30th strength of schedule, which means they played some top quality teams throughout the schedule. The problem with that, they haven't beat many teams with that schedule. Okay, they ain't beat many teams. They're 1-8 versus top 60 teams. And the only team that is ranked in the top 60 that they defeated was Texas A&M. I think they won by 5 points. Okay, they're 11-13 overall, 2-9 in the SEC conference, and a lot of prediction models predict this to be a blowout, especially Vegas, a big-time blowout. And what does Georgia present to us that might give us some pause for cause? Okay, what are they doing? Oh, offensive rating. Okay, first off, the offensive rating not good. Offensive rating is not good. They're 196 in the country. That's the first thing. So the offensive rating is not good. And the offensive rating 196 in the country, they happen to be playing the team that has the number one defense in the land, number one defense in the country with the number one defensive rating. And it's amazing. It's awesome. We've been going on and on about how good this defensive squad is by South Carolina. So it is what it is. Georgia, it is what it is right now. Field goal percentage, 151st in the country. Play a team that is first in the country in field goal percentage allowed. 2-point percentage. Georgia 185th in the country. 185th in the country, playing a team that is number one in 2-point percentage allowed. Number one. Okay? There's a lot of different daggers that I can throw at Georgia. A lot of different daggers I can throw at Georgia, and a lot of different situations I can discuss about Georgia and their difficulty to score the basketball against South Carolina. So many different ways, but you just heard it. Offensive rating, not good. Defense, field goal percentage, not good. 2-point percentage, not good. And Carolina's number one in all those different metrics. Okay? 3-point percentage. Again, this is probably the worst metric for them. 293rd out of 360 basketball teams in Division I women's basketball. That's terrible. That is terrible. And they're going against a team 19th in the country in defending the three. So they're not good basically anywhere on the floor. And they're coming to Colonial Life Arena to compete with South Carolina. That don't sound good at any stretch of the imagination. Not at all. Offensively, Georgia is not good whatsoever. Assists a game, 125th. Turnovers, fewest turnovers a game, 117. I can't find a good metric for Georgia when talking about the offense. I tried. I can't find none. They're going to have a tough time scoring the basketball tomorrow afternoon. And they got game day coming down. ESPN going to be representing, do what they do. You know, you're gonna have all the talking heads doing their stuff, and I don't know what the hell they're gonna talk about, because I'm still confused about why they got game day coming to a Georgia game when they should have had game day at UConn. You know, that would have made more sense when you're playing an inferior team like Georgia, where half the people who watching the game on ESPN ain't gonna turn away from it because the game ain't gonna be competitive by the second quarter at all. But that is what we're doing. Now, defensively, if you're not good offensively, hopefully you can lay your hat on something, hang your hat on something, and maybe they're good defensively. Well, they ain't good defensively either. They ain't good defensively. You're talking about 190th in the country in defense. 190th. Playing a team that is third ranked in the country in offense. 190th. Field goal percentage, they're pretty good, 94. I guess that's decent. But they're playing a team that's second in the country in field goal percentage on offense. 2-point percentage. 2-point percentage at 68. 68th in the country, which is solid. That is actually decent. That is good. 68th in the country. But they're playing a team that is 15th in the country in 2-point percentage. You know, with Kamilla Cardoso and national. Why? Because both of them getting easy shots, easy lay-ins. 3-point percentage. This is what, so they don't shoot the ball well at the 3, and they don't defend the ball well at the 3. So you're talking about 263rd in the country at 3-point percentage allowed. Going against the team that is third in the country offensively at 41% shooting the 3 ball. Somebody better call Taniyah Thompson, because lights out about to light them up. Somebody better call Bree Hall, because she about to light them up. Tessa Johnson, those rainbow threes about to light it up. Okay? They just don't defend the 3 well. They field goal percentage is okay. The 2-point percentage is pretty good, but they don't defend the 3 well, and they don't. I'm like, oh man, just analyzing these numbers for Georgia, it's just going to be a tough out for y'all. It's going to be astronomically hard for y'all to beat the Gamecocks offensively and defensively, because where y'all are actually okay, we so much better, and where y'all are bad, we just great. I don't know what to say. Steals for basketball game, they're 125th. They don't steal the ball a lot, and we 12th in assists. 12th in the country in assists. It's just a lot of different ways that we just so much better. Blocks, they're 152nd. 152nd, so that's about average across basketball, but we ain't talking about, Georgia's doing average things, and that's against all 360 teams, but you're playing against the top team. You're playing against the best team. And the cool thing about it, too, turnovers. South Carolina don't turn the ball a lot. They don't turn the ball over a lot. We're 20th in the country. 20th out of 360 teams. That's really good, y'all. That is really good. And we're 8th in assist to turnover ratio. That's real good. Not just real good. You're talking about real good. We got to put the extra real in there. It's so many different ways that Carolina can beat Georgia. So many different ways. And I don't know one way that Carolina can lose to Georgia. None. I don't have no, and I'm trying to be objective. I'm trying to be objective and not trying to be like a fanboy for Carolina, which I am, but I'm just trying to be objective. I don't know a scenario where Georgia can beat South Carolina. I don't know none. Now, Georgia's best players, and we talking about offensively and defensively. So I started doing more of an analytical piece, breaking down the offensive players and the defensive players and that are better offensively, and the defensive players that are, better defensively, and being the all-around player. Because the only thing that we pay attention to a lot is stats. We pay attention a lot to stats. How many points, how many rebounds, how many assists a person gets in a basketball game. It's always in the box score. Always in the box score. Those are the things that we focus on. When we do all these various different awards and we do all these various different lists, that is the focal point of what we see. So we are trained to just look at those pieces, right? You don't even take into account the defense whatsoever. Not at all. Defense has no inkling of importance in basketball today. None. It don't matter. You ain't got to play no defense at all. But in my world, in Captain Will's world, defense matters. So I give the piece of the all-around basketball player, the basketball player that's good offensively and defensively. So Georgia's best player is Nicholson. That's that 6'2" forward, solid player. And she's averaging about 30 minutes a game, 15 points a game, 8 rebounds, 2 turnovers, 46% from the field, 87% from the free throw line. So offensively, she's pretty good. She's averaging about, her offensive rating is 93.7. Now, that's not great. That's not great. By Carolina standards, that'd be terrible. But that's 93.7. Her defensive rating is 100.4. That's horrible because they don't play no defense. They don't play no defense. You see the box score, you see, Nicholson's a pretty good player. She is pretty good offensively, but on defense, she can care less. But I ain't no shade to what she do on defense because she ain't the worst one on the team in defense. Out of their best players, Georgia's best players, Avinger, she's averaging 26 minutes a game, averaging 8 points, averaging 3 rebounds, averaging 42% from the field, 65% from the free throw line. Her defensive rating is worse than Nicholson. You're talking about 103.7. That's horrible. That's horrible. And her offensive rating is down lower to 85.4. Hey, here's the thing right here. South Carolina don't have any players ranked have an offensive rating, anything like that. And they definitely don't have no defensive rating of a player, 103.7. Like that. But here's the third one. Thompson, another guard. I think she's a 5'10" guard. She's averaging 26 minutes a game, averaging 8 points, 3 rebounds, 42% from the field, 65% from the free throw line. Here's the stat, ladies and gentlemen. She's better offensively than Nicholson and Avinger. But she's horrific on defensive end. You're talking 108.5. This is the reason. This is the ultimate reason why they don't defend the 3. Because they don't try to defend the 3. They're two of their starting guards. Defense is optional. It is optional. Their defense is out there getting popcorn and get those $3 hot dogs that's going to be available tomorrow afternoon. And that is why I'm thinking that Taniyah Thompson is going to light him up tomorrow. That is why I'm thinking Bree Hall is going to light him up tomorrow. Javyn Johnson, MiLaysia Fulwiley. MiLaysia Fulwiley should have a field day on these non-defensive players tomorrow for Georgia. A field day. It just, I don't understand how defense is just, and you wonder why some of these teams aren't good. You just wonder why they ain't good. You just look at the defensive ratings. They don't play defense. If I was building a team, if I was a general manager of a team, I would start defensively first and work on the offense later. That's what I would do. Because at the end of the day, I think you can get better shooting the ball. I think you can get better rebounding the basketball. But defense takes heart. Defense takes effort. And you got a whole lot of players who just worried about scoring. They playing defense. You ain't winning no basketball games. At least not against good teams. So the question is always with South Carolina. Why are we so good every year? It's defense. It's defense. Every single year, Carolina is great defensively. So we're going to be in every basketball game that we play. It doesn't matter who we play. It could be a Georgia. It could be a UConn. It could be a LSU. It doesn't matter because defense travels to every single arena. Offense may not, but defense travels. It don't matter. And we talk about our better players on this basketball team. Let's go through some of the defensive ratings, defensive play. Our best defensive player is Ashlyn Watkins. I've been saying it all season long. That Ashlyn Watkins is our best defensive player. I've been saying it. The 6'3" sophomore Cardinal Newman has been balling. She's been balling. And in SEC play, again, we just look at SEC play. We don't look at all the rest of the game. We just look at SEC play. So in SEC play, Ashlyn Watkins' defensive rating is 71.4. You just heard me say some stuff about Georgia, 108. 106, 103. Ashlyn Watkins, sophomore extraordinaire. Defensive rating is 71.4. But that ain't it. The reason that South Carolina has the #1 ranked defensive squad in the country, not by points, but by efficiency. You got Ashley Watkins at 71.4, and you got Kamilla Cardoso at 76.3. Unheard of. But that ain't it. It just keeps going and going because the third best player on defense for South Carolina is none other than Raven Hollywood Crockpot Johnson. Her defensive rating is 79.0 in conference play. And I always say, y'all already know that Raven Johnson is my favorite player on this basketball team. But not because offensively, not because just defensively, but all around. 79.0 as a point guard in the SEC is outstanding. But you got that three-headed monster and Raven and Cardoso and Ashley Watkins, and when you have them in the game at the same time, it is a tough assignment for any offensive squad. So it's tough for them to compete. And I don't expect anything less for Georgia, who don't even have a great offensive team, who don't even have a good offensive team, but just average. It's just average. And then we go with our three best offensive players right now for South Carolina. The three best offensive players right now for South Carolina, according to the offensive rating, is Bree Hall. Bree Hall has an offensive rating of 125.8. She's averaging 10 points. She averaged 47% from the field goal range, 49% from three, and 80% from free throws. That's Bree Hall, okay, in SEC play. What I did not mention is turnovers. She's averaging less than 2 turnovers a game, okay? She don't turn the ball over. She did not turn the ball over. Bree Hall is having a great offensive season this year. Great. She's our biggest offensive weapon, according to the offensive rating. And the second one, and then it kind of flip-flops with Taniyah Powell and Bree Hall. But right now, on February the 17th, Taniyah Powell a couple steps behind, just a couple steps behind at 123.5. So Bree Hall 125.8 and Taniyah Powell 123.5. It tells me, even though this little itty-bitty slump that Breezy is going through right now, Powell came out of, and I expect both of them to light it up tomorrow and let everybody know in the SEC that we ain't going nowhere. You know, Taniyah Powell is having 11.2 rebounds, 4 assists, 45% from the field, 40% from three, 92% from the free throw line in SEC play. Bree Hall, Taniyah Powell are two of the best offensive guards in the SEC. They don't shoot 20 times a game, so don't get confused with that. You ain't gonna see them girls do that. But what they do, they are very efficient and they play all around basketball. It's a fun fact. It's a fun situation when you say a player actually plays all around basketball, because that is a unheard of term right now. Unheard of term. But those are the things that matters. And Ashley Watkins and Cardoso, they're not far behind in terms of offense, because Cardoso is a walking bucket because she's 6'7" and Raven be feeding the ball to her. So she gets a lot of easy baskets. Cardoso's averaging 14 points, 10 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 block shots, 2 turnovers herself, 56% from the field and 63% from the free throw line. She's playing outstanding. Watkins 9 points, 8 rebounds, 3 block shots a game, shooting, 60% from the free throw line and 58% from the field. So many players on this basketball team, and I just listed the top 5. Top 5 in terms of players who play 20 minutes or more on this basketball game per game. I didn't talk about MiLaysia Fulwiley, who's averaging about 17 minutes a game. I didn't talk about Tessa Johnson, who's averaging about 16 minutes a game. I didn't talk about Chloe Kiss, who's averaging about 18 minutes a game. Or I didn't Sania Feigin, who's averaging about 13 to 14 points a game in SEC play. I'm just talking about the players. We got 5 players, 5 of them that average 20 minutes or more, which means they're playing over half the game. That's what I'm talking about. Now, there is a high probability MiLaysia Fulwiley will see more increased minutes in some of these games as the season continues on. But we always talk about who's starting. Oh, Kamilla going to start. Oh, is Ashley Watkins going to start? Real talk. These are the 5 that's getting the bulk of the minutes in basketball, okay? These are the 5 that's going to lead us to the championship. These are the 5 that are going to lead us to cutting those nets in Cleveland, Ohio. And they are spearheading this team. Now, we're getting a whole lot of production from Fulwiley, whole lot of production from Chloe, whole lot of production from Tessa coming on and Sania coming on. But these 5 players are straight up outstanding. And I dare to any country, any team in this country to compare your 5 players against these 5 players. It ain't no comparison. It ain't nowhere. Because it ain't no team that has the defensive rating that these Gamecocks does. None. And hell, we can talk about the offense too. Sensational. And we don't talk about the offense enough when we talk about Carolina. It was always defense. But we got the number 3 ranked offensive team in the country and number 1 ranked defense. Both of them should be talked about. I better hear them talking about it tomorrow on game day. That's what I better hear. It just doesn't fixate in my mind. Just don't fixate in my mind. And in terms of this Georgia game, I mean, come on. This Georgia game gonna be a blowout. Y'all know it's gonna be a blowout. I'm talking about Georgia ain't gonna score 50 points. Georgia ain't gonna score 50 points in this basketball game tomorrow. They ain't scoring 50 points, and Carolina probably gonna hang up by 87, 88 points on this team tomorrow. With game day there, you might see 92. Those are the things that are going to happen. Georgia is going down tomorrow, and then we get ready for Thursday's game. But these are the games right here. We got to stay healthy. We got to stay locked in because you're going to have so many cameras there to watch to see if there's any flaws in Carolina's game, to see if Carolina's going to take Georgia for granted. All these different things. But I'm here to tell you right here, if you betting on this game, you take the over. You take the over because Carolina's about to lay a whooping to Georgia Bulldogs tomorrow afternoon. This includes another episode of Gamecocks Talk with Captain Will. I am your man, Captain Will. Make sure you like it, share it, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Apple Podcasts, YouTube, iHeartRadio, Spotify, you name it, I'm on it. You are now rocking with the best. And since you're rocking with the best, come rock with your man, Captain Will. Let's go. Oh,
J-Rock did this beat.